Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. In today's Pick a Card reading, we are looking at your July 2025 Love Insights. Once you choose your card, you can find the timestamps below, which will take you directly to your reading. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is also linked below. Please know that is the only way to book any of my services with me. If anyone ever reaches out to you, just know that that is not me. All right, Spirit, we are looking at July 2025 Love Insights. Can we have a card for pile number 1, please? Can we have a card for pile number 2, please? Can we have a card for pile number 3, please? Pile number 1, you have Understanding with the Citrine crystal. Pile number 2, you have Intuition with the Peacock rock. Pile number 3, you have Abundance with the Malachite crystal. Please take as long as you need choosing your card or cards, and I'll see you in your readings. Hello, pile number 1. You have the Citrine crystal, and your card is Understanding. The energy that I'm picking up from this card is a very easygoing energy, obviously understanding, so kind of like you just understand each other. Some of you may already be in a relationship with someone, and you may have had some difficulties in the past, and I feel like in July things are starting to come together. You're working through problems. Maybe you found solutions to problems and everything's kind of falling into line, and you're coming into a more peaceful time with this other person. And if you're just entering into a relationship, or if you're single, then I feel like you're going to meet somebody in July where things just kind of flow so easily, like your schedules flow, your communication flows, you understand each other, you're on the same page, you want the same things. And it seems so easy that some of you may kind of second guess it, like, wait a minute, why is this so easy? Okay, so maybe you've never had a relationship like that where everything just kind of falls into place, everything works, and you don't have to like struggle through trying to get to know somebody. And then others of you, maybe you had great difficulties in a current relationship and you weren't sure if you were going to make it through, and then all of a sudden you solve those problems and now it's so easy. You're like, oh, okay, did we actually make it through that? Like, are we done? Can we move on from that? And, you know, just kind of second guessing the situation. But I feel like as the month goes on, you won't second guess it as much, if at all. Okay, because this feeling of, it's like a very nurturing energy that I'm getting. Very nurturing, very caring, very kind of just like a simplified energy. Just really good vibrations. So, and also that communication, there's something about communication as well that's very, I just see it like very free flowing, and it's not difficult at all. So that's what I'm seeing with this card and what I'm feeling. Let's get your other cards. Okay, what else can you tell us for pile number 1, please? July 2025 Love Insights. Look, you have the card Flow. This is exactly what I just said, isn't it? Things just flow. Things are easy. It's like being in the moment and enjoying the moment, having fun together, enjoying each other's company. There's also, I'm feeling acceptance. So accepting each other for who you are. Again, it's just like understanding each other, being on the same page. It's almost like you're cut from the same cloth, where I'm trying to figure out how to say this. It's like, it's just very simple, a very simple, nurturing, loving energy where things literally just flow. And I also feel like there's some kind of intuitive connection with the two of you where, I don't know, I'm getting like you might, be thinking the exact same thing at the same time, and one of you brings something up and the other person's like, well, that's exactly what I was just thinking. And, just really being on the same page with someone. So it's like a really nice, comforting energy. It's just so peaceful. We have illumination. I feel with illumination, what's happening here is kind of what I've touched on already, where you're talking about things and you're realizing that, wow, we're really on the same page. Whether this is a new relationship or if you've been with someone for a while, it's like the more you talk, the more you realize you're on the same page. So let's say, for instance, that you've been with somebody for a little while, maybe you had a disagreement or you had some kind of problem or issue you had to work through. And with illumination, I feel like the solution to the problem is coming to light. You're figuring things out. And mostly though, you're realizing that you're actually on the same page. Maybe it didn't look like it for a little while, because it seems like there may have been some kind of miscommunication if this is a current relationship where something went a little bit haywire or a misunderstanding, something like that, or an argument or something like that. It feels like more of a misunderstanding. So I feel like through July, you're going to be reconnecting with someone if that happened for you. And then for the rest of you, that connection is growing as well, right? And again, it's just like, wow, we're on the same page. We want the same things. We have the same beliefs, the same, things that we want and goals and all of that. So it's, again, I'm just getting like, oops, sorry. It's just very peaceful, very comfortable. Almost like you've never been this comfortable with someone before. That's like what I just heard in my mind. Okay, what else can you tell us for pile number 1, please? Divination. Again, there's something about intuition. There's something about just knowing. Like, I just know that this is my person, or I just know that I've met you before in a past life, or I just know that this connection is deeper than just, randomly meeting somebody. And, it's like, it seems to be a very, very deep, almost spiritual-like connection, and maybe it is spiritual. Everything is just so balanced, and really, like, I don't think there's really another word to go. It's just balanced. It's so easy being on the same page with someone. It's just kind of reiterating things that I've said before. Okay, what else can you tell us, please? Ooh, we have transition. This is interesting. So with transition, ooh, and it's also number 11. Oh, I love that. Okay, so there's a few things going on here. So with transition, I feel like if there was a period of misunderstanding, you're absolutely coming into a time of understanding each other, and absolutely, like I said earlier, working through any problems that you may have had, and transitioning from, no matter what your situation is, you're transitioning in from one phase into another with somebody. So if you're already in a relationship, if you had some kind of misunderstanding or something like that, or maybe you needed to talk about some certain issues and then you realized, oh, we're actually on the same page with that. Great, let's move on. Okay, so you're transitioning from that into a place of like even greater understanding, and even like this connection is growing. Okay. And so transition, let's say you just met someone, you're transitioning from not knowing this person, right? And into, developing a relationship with this person, developing a connection with this person, and seeing that grow. Okay, so there's just something about growth here, things being really easy, realizing that there's commitment here also. Okay, I'm also hearing commitment. So definitely it seems like a really great time for you and a connection that you have or will have in July. Okay, what else can you tell us for pile number 1? You have the Five of Pentacles. This makes sense. So with the Five of Pentacles, I feel like there was a time when things weren't flowing. Okay, so if you've been single, I feel like you were kind of left out in the cold, in the dark, and you didn't have your partner, right? I feel like that's going to be changing for you. And like I said earlier, if you're already in a relationship and you had some kind of difficulties with someone, maybe, you know, you weren't on the same page or you had a misunderstanding, all of that is changing for you. Things are going to start to flow. Things are going to start to flow in a much more positive direction for you in July. Okay, let's see what else we have. Yeah, see? So here you have the Four of Wands. So this is a definite positive flow. There's also something about the moon and your intuition, and I get something about trusting each other too. This almost like, you know, sometimes you meet somebody and it's kind of like, well, I don't know why I trust this person so much. I just met them, but I really do trust them. And it's kind of like that. It's like just this inner knowing that I can trust this person. I'm safe with this person. And, you know, moving on from this here, the Five of Pentacles, where you were kind of on your own. Maybe you were confused. Let's say you're confused. It's like, you know, why haven't I found my person yet? I'm such a good person. Why haven't I found, you know, a good counterpart, a good match, someone who's a good person like me? And so that's changing, right? Because here, the Four of Wands, this is connection. This is building a foundation. This obviously, look, there's some kind of celebration going on here. And then, you know, if you were in a relationship already and you are feeling kind of left out in the cold, like, well, you know, we had this misunderstanding, I feel terrible. That's changing. You're going from that into this place of understanding and celebration and things flowing and things making sense and enjoying each other, possibly, you know, meeting, if it's a new relationship, meeting friends and getting to know those people and really enjoying those people. And, you know, because there's many people here. So things are just kind of flowing really well for you. And then we have the Empress card. Yeah, this is what I've been talking about. This is a very, well, first of all, let me start with this. Your intuitive connection is so strong with this person, okay? Very, very strong. And I feel like if you've been in a relationship with somebody already and you haven't had that yet, I feel that you are, in July, it's like you've worked out any kind of knots that may have been blocking your energy flow. It's like you worked through some kind of difficulty, and then this is what you end up with. It's a very nurturing, very comfortable energy, but there's also this intuitive energy between the two of you that's it's just like off the charts, this intuitive energy that I'm feeling with the two of you, whether this is a new relationship or one that you've been in for a little while. So I'm also feeling with the Empress that some of you in July might be moving in together with someone, or at least spending a lot of time at one or the other's home, you know, things like that, because I'm getting a sense that you're so comfortable, you're starting to spend more time together, but it's like in the home. Okay, so some of you may be combining homes. You might be finding a new home for the both of you. So this could be that you're going into a new phase, you know, with the transition. So this new phase could be going from living on your own individually to moving in together. With the Empress, there is also the possibility for pregnancy here with the Empress, so just keep that in mind. You know, which could be a wonderful thing. Maybe that's exactly what you're aiming for in July, but it could also be a surprise for some of you, so just keep that in mind. Okay. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, look at how this person is at home in the kitchen, cooking something, and this is, you know, the energy that I was feeling, where there's definitely something about the home, about doing things in the home together. So maybe it's, you know, kind of like nesting in the home and cooking at home, maybe cooking together, finding some fun recipes. But there's definitely something about like building a stronger connection, like in a home environment. So definitely some of you will be finding a new home in July, we'll be moving in together, we'll be spending more time with someone in the home. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to go out and do fun things. I'm just seeing it like, especially with Four of Wands here, and then the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles, you know, and look here, there's even a home back here. So there's an energy of building a really structured, strong foundation with someone that's building toward the future. Okay. And it's a lot of fun. It's definitely the opposite of what we started off here with the Five of Pentacles. And, you know, for some of you, it's that feeling of, it's just, some of you felt like actually, I feel like this pile number one at one point thought that you wouldn't reach this point. So for some of you, or not some of you, for this group, it seems like there's still that element of surprise that I'm feeling like, oh wow, this is easier than I thought, or wow, we worked through our problems and it's actually easier than I thought to move on from them. You know, something like that. Everything is just kind of flowing, and I feel like you're both on the same page, where there's like there's no anxiety, no drama, just everything just flows so easily, and it's really, really nice. So here we have the Judgment card. So with the Judgment card, this is kind of what I was just saying, how everything is so different, and look at how surprised this person looks, kind of like, whoa, I didn't expect this. This is what I've been saying. Okay, if you're single, it's and you're just meeting somebody, it's like, wow, this is easy. You know, in my past relationships, it wasn't this easy. Like, we had to work through things and get to know each other and get to know each other's, you know, different quirks and things like that. But here, everything just kind of flows. There's this understanding, and that's why there's kind of that element of surprise, and it's a good surprise, a positive surprise. Okay, and then also, like I said, if you've been in a relationship, it's that same kind of, wow, we actually were able to move past things, and things are getting quite easy. So it's like being given an opportunity to pursue something with someone that's just so easy to get along with at this point. Is that one or two? Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Yeah, look, you have the Wheel of Fortune. The tide is changing for you. Especially look at this row. We started with the Five of Pentacles, where something is lacking. There's confusion, there's misunderstanding, there's loneliness, it's raining and cold, and the people back here have an umbrella, but this person doesn't, and it's like, what's going on? You know, there's a lack that we don't see with the rest of your cards here. And then, you know, as we end this row, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So it's like a complete reversal, especially because this is number 5 here, the Five of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune is number 10. So it's a complete reversal of previous months. And it's interesting, when I was talking earlier and I said the word July, when I don't remember exactly what card it was. And in my mind, I kept hearing or seeing the word May, and I was like, but no, we're looking at July. But it just caught my attention that here we have the Five of Pentacles, and so there could be something that happened around May that may have been continuing on until July. So let's say maybe you've been single, maybe you started looking for a new relationship in May of this year, and for the next 2 months, you were feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to meet somebody that I really connect with. But then from May, June, it's kind of that same thing. And then in July, it changes. Okay, that could be what was going on here. And if you're already in a relationship, it could be maybe you had problems that started in May or got really bad in May. And maybe it kind of went through May and June. And then in July, all of a sudden you have this illumination with the Judgment card. You're breaking free of whatever was limiting your circumstances in May, possibly June as well. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune, the tide is changing for you regardless of whatever your situation is. And look at this. This is very interesting because, well, first of all, it's the Star card. So I feel a wish is coming true, a dream is coming true. But look at the swirls around this person. Do you see that now? And there's leaves, like leaves from a tree that are in there. And that's kind of giving a visual of what I was just talking about when we looked at May. Well, we didn't look at, but I got the feeling that something may have happened in May, excuse me, in May, and kind of flowing into June, and then everything starts to change because it's like Wheel of Fortune, so a change is in the air, but this also kind of confirms that change is in the air because it's like, the wind picks up and it causes this change, this transition, right? Because you have transition here, you have judgment here, which judgment is also like a transition into better times. And look, after judgment, you have Wheel of Fortune, you have the Star card. And I love that the Star card is below the Five of Pentacles in flow. Okay, so it's like something stopped the flow for a period of time. So if you were single and you just kept meeting the wrong person, like, oh, this is not it, right? If you just weren't connecting with somebody and you were starting to feel, depressed and hopeless that you would ever find that person, something was blocking your flow. So that could have been any number of things, depending on who's watching this, right? Could have been maybe your energy was off because work was really demanding. Maybe it was divine timing, okay? It could have kept you busy while this other person was busy making their way, toward your direction and into your life. So a lot of different things going on here. And then, like I said, if this is a relationship that you've been in, things could have been blocked here because you had some kind of problem, okay? But there was a solution to the problem if that's what happened in your situation. You just needed to work through it, okay? And then things definitely come back into flow for you. So if you've been in a relationship and you're really, really hoping that you can work through your issues, your problems, I definitely see that happening in July. Yeah, the Eight of Pentacles, yeah. This is sort of what I was talking about earlier, where everything just kind of flows. You're on the same page. Everything's really easy. In the sense that, so the Eight of Pentacles is putting a lot of hard work into something, okay? But it's also something that you love. So it might not really feel like hard work. At the end of the day, maybe if this was related to work and not romance, like you might be like, oh, I'm really exhausted. And even, I guess so in romance also, right? Maybe you did something super, super nice for your significant other. And at the end of the day, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. That was so much work, but it was so worth it. Like you loved doing that. And so I feel like you're both on the same page. You're both putting a lot of effort into this connection. You're both enjoying spending time together, doing nice things for each other, okay? And this absolutely is not baking, because you can see this person is making like handbags, luggage, things like that. But for some reason, I'm seeing somebody baking a cake here. Maybe because this person is cooking over here on the Queen of Pentacles. I'm not sure. Maybe someone's literally going to be baking for you, or you're going to be baking for someone in July. I'm not sure, but I just thought I would mention that because it just keeps, every time I look at this card, I see someone baking a cake, and clearly that's not what this person is doing. Okay, then we have the Queen of Swords. This makes so much sense, doesn't it? Because you have understanding here, communication here, flow, illumination, divination. Remember I talked about being on the same page with this person, having a intuitive psychic connection with someone. And with the Queen of Swords, it's like, I feel like there's open communication. I feel like everything, there's clarity. There's like not holding back, putting everything out on the table, which, you know, some people may think that could be risky, but by doing that, everything's on the table. You can see everything. And in this case, it works very well, because if you've just met someone and you both put everything on the table, it's like, well, yeah, we agree about everything basically. And if there's anything that we don't particularly agree on, it's just little things that we can compromise, right? And if you've had any issues in a current relationship, this is what I was talking about, how you have some kind of breakthrough, because the solution was there, remember? But there's understanding, there's communication, there's flow, and things are back in line, back in order. And look at this Queen of Swords here, how this cup is overturned. This is taking us back here to the Five of Pentacles when things weren't going so well. But the Queen of Swords is that time of transformation, that time of understanding, when things are when things kind of come together, when thoughts come together, clarity, things like that. The other thing that I know I'm just going to set this card down, but the other thing that maybe this is why I said it and I didn't realize it yet, but with this queen and her blazer or shirt is open like that, exposing, you know, what would normally be covered, right? Usually your shirt would be buttoned up, right? So I'm feeling like that's also pointing toward being more vulnerable, putting everything on the table, saying, hey, this is who I am, or these are my thoughts, this is how I feel about it, or hey, here's a solution to this problem that we've had. And just being a little bit risky with being vulnerable, putting yourself out there, your ideas out there, but it works. It works very, very well for you in July. And then we have the Hangman. This makes sense because we had the Five of Pentacles. So there was a period of time when things seemed to be, you know, in limbo. It's like, okay, well, what am I doing? What's going on? You know, is my person out there, or are we going to work through these issues? And this is exactly what's coming to an end. This period of waiting to meet someone special, this period of a lack of communication with someone. There's like this light bulb. Can you see that here? So if you're already in a relationship, this light bulb is representing finding the solution to that problem that you had over here with the Five of Pentacles. Okay. And knowing that things are going to start to flow. This light bulb here can also indicate if you just met someone recently, or if you do meet someone in July, it's like that psychic connection that you will have with this person, that understanding, that flow of energy, seeing the light, like, oh my gosh, I went on 10 bad dates in May and June, and I finally met someone that I really connect with in July. The Magician, yeah, see, everything just starts to flow for you in July. Everything that you've been manifesting, everything that you've been looking for, solutions to a problem, everything comes together for you in July. I really feel like some of you may have been like journaling or writing down exactly what you want in a partner. And if you haven't, maybe this is a sign that you should do that. Start writing down exactly what you want. And I feel like someone's just going to magically appear. Because it's either that, or if you already in a relationship and had some kind of difficulties, you're finding the answers, right? Like we saw with the Five of Pentacles. Something is changing to break out of this hangman period. Because you see here we have Judgment, Magician, Hangman, Hangman, Magician, Judgment. So something's breaking you free of this kind of stillness, okay? And things are going to be changing for you for the better. Okay, well, this card was stuck there, so let's take that one, but let's also take this one that was on top because I was going to take that one. Oh, I love this. So you have the Fool card. Yeah, so definitely going through some sort of transition where you're going from being single to being in a happy relationship, going from being kind of stagnant with someone and working through that and, you know, getting back to this kind of place in your relationship where maybe you were in the beginning of the relationship. If this is something long-term and you came upon some sort of difficulties, it's like just this sense of freedom, everything's flowing, a sense of ease, understanding, communication, all of those things where everything just becomes so much easier. You know, this could also represent that feeling of having butterflies because, you know, you're just falling deeper and deeper in love with someone. Yeah, absolutely. Now let's look at this card that was stuck. The Seven of Cups. So with the, you know, this makes so much sense with any scenario that I've mentioned here. So with the Seven of Cups, let's say that you've been single, right? And maybe you've been single for a while. Maybe you've been going on all of these different dates and it's like, oh, I'm just not finding what I'm looking for. Where is this person that I want to spend time with because I haven't found them yet? Okay, that's going to change. Everything here is indicating that you're going to find that person. And this goes so well with the other scenario that I mentioned. If you had any sort of difficulties with someone, that's going to change as well. Because here someone's trying to find a solution to something, right? Look at the Five of Pentacles. Do you see the worry on both of these cards? And then look at the Judgment card where it's like, oh, I found the answer. Okay, so you're finding the solution to a problem here. So that is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I wish you so much luck in July and with this connection. If you ever want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is linked below. And if you enjoyed this reading, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Hello, pile number 2. You have the Peacock Rock, and your card is Intuition. So I feel for you in July, your intuition is going to be very important for you in either a positive or a negative way. So I'm getting the sense that this could go either way. We'll see as we get into your cards. First and foremost, listen to your intuition. If something feels off, it probably is. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But it's not all negative. I'm also feeling like listening to your intuition can also indicate positive things happening. Okay, so let's say maybe, let's say you have a disagreement with someone if you're already in a relationship with someone and you feel like you just have this feeling like you'll be able to get through those problems. You'll find a solution and everything will be okay. Okay. Your intuition is most likely going to be right. If you just meet someone and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, I feel like this is my person. I just know, again, your intuition is most likely right. So, you know, we'll see what, Spirit wants to tell you today and see which way this goes as we get into the rest of your cards. Okay, what else can you tell us for pile number 2, please? We're looking at July 2025 love insights. Okay, that one and that one. Okay, so we have inner peace. So far it's looking pretty positive, right? Because you have 2 fish here and you have inner peace. And obviously this is a love reading. So I feel like if you have just met someone, or if you, like I said earlier, a few minutes ago, if you went through some difficulties and were wondering if you were going to make it through, but your intuition is like, no, I know we're going to make it through this, or you just meet someone and you're saying, oh, I think this is my person. Listen to that, because I'm getting very positive energy here. I'm getting a sense that you're going to be around someone who's very much reciprocal with emotions. So I feel that someone who's around you, whether this is a new relationship or someone you've been with for a while, I feel like someone's very receptive to your feelings, your emotions, and is very free with giving you emotions back. So I feel like it's a very equal give and receive energy that I'm getting here in July. And it seems very peaceful. And again, this is an intuitive card as well. So there's something about your intuition going on here. So let's see what other card you have here. Success. Wow, I love that for you. Look at this. So again, it's like success in finding someone new, success in, oh, you know what I just got? Some of you may have been at a distance from each other and you're getting closer. So that could be literal, or it could be more figurative. So when I say literal, it could mean that maybe you are living in different parts of the country or different parts of the world, and that's going to be changing for you in July. This could also mean that you hadn't met yet, but you meeting this special person, you're getting closer and closer and closer to meeting that person. The success could also be maybe you are going to accomplish something together in July. Maybe you're going to find the perfect home to move into, the perfect home to purchase. Maybe I just heard, and this is so specific, but I just heard that someone out there, like where you're both taking the same type of test in July. So like a real estate license test, or some kind of tests for if you're getting some kind of certificate or something like that. Yeah, so very specific, but it literally was like so loud in my brain. I said, okay, I have to mention this. Yeah, it's like, I feel like the two of you might be a little different from each other, but somehow it just works, because I'm seeing this bird here. Do you see the bird here? And then you have the beautiful cat here. And so it's like something's a little bit different about the two of you, but it just works so well. And it's actually like, I feel like maybe outwardly, or certain things about the two of you might be different, but when you look at this card, it's like there's more similarities on like a spiritual level, on with communication, with the way that you love each other is so similar, or the way that you will love each other, right? It's so similar, and it just flows and it just works so well. So, oh, that makes sense. Okay, now it's all making sense here. Remember I said how there's something that's like a little bit different about the two of you, and it doesn't have to be like outward appearances. But that's exactly why I said it's important that you listen to your intuition, because there's something about it where it's like, well, on the surface, someone looking in might be like, well, that's kind of an odd pairing, but it works, right? So, I mean, it could be anything. It could be there might be an age difference between the two of you. Maybe one of you, like this bird has kind of like a mohawk. And so maybe one of you has, a different style than the other person, because this cat here is more kind of has, the sleeker fur, and it's obviously not in a mohawk here. So it could be something with styles are different. Maybe style in music or something is really different between the two of you, but it's like so insignificant. It's like, well, that stuff doesn't really matter. This is what matters. Okay. What else can you tell us for pile number 2, please? Oh, you have transition. This is in pile number 1 as well. So this makes sense, doesn't it? Everything that we've been talking about so far. Because I feel like there's some kind of new beginning here. With transition, I'm getting transition into a deeper level of commitment, a deeper level of understanding with this person. So, that applies if you've just met somebody or if you've been with someone for a while. The situation doesn't matter. There's just this deepening of love, understanding, wanting to do things for each other. Everything just feels like there's a stronger connection that's being built during July. Okay, what else? Ooh, strength. This is what I was just talking about, isn't it? So your connection is getting stronger. It's getting deeper. I feel like some of you are planting roots together, meaning that some of you are moving in together, finding a home together. Some of you may even be having a child or conceiving a child or something like that, something that's really going to deepen that connection that you have. I feel like with the sword here, communication and thoughts will also be very important for you in July. I mean, obviously thoughts, intuition, things like that, but it's like something seems to be changing with the thought process, maybe with transition solidifying plans. So maybe you just meet someone and you're talking, you're on the same page, you're saying, you know what, yeah, I would like to get to know someone and move in and have children or get married and have children, or whichever order you want to do that in. If you even want children, that's perfectly fine. But it's like with the sword, it's like, wow, I've actually found someone and this is the person that I can do these things with. And then it's kind of like you're strengthening those ideas, those plans, because now you've found someone that you can do that with, right? And so it's like building upon an idea that you had and actually seeing it kind of come into your life and blossom is what I'm feeling here. Okay, what else can you tell us for pile number 2, please? Ooh, okay. Pile number 2. Let's set these over here and start with these. Okay. Ooh, yeah, look, you have the World card. So you're definitely transitioning into a new phase of your life. So this could be a new phase of your life where you're bringing someone in and you're starting a new life together, or this could be a new phase of your life together, okay? Maybe you had some issues that were going on, and I'm feeling like if you had issues, they were like external issues. It could be, it could be anything. It could be external family issues. It could be work issues. It could be issues with your home, financial, anything like that that was kind of putting stress in your lives. But I feel like it may have just shaken up the peace within the relationship, but I'm feeling like it didn't really cause a lot of strife within the two of you or between the two of you. And if it did, then I feel like it wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't that difficult to work through any problems that you may have had. Okay. But yeah, you're definitely going into a new phase with this person. And then you have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, so with the Queen of Cups, it's definitely like the sense of inner peace. There's a very nurturing energy here, very loving energy. Definitely a sense of connection. Okay, so there's a great connection that's happening in July for you. I'm also getting the sense that things are coming together things are just flowing, things are coming together. So, that goes along with, excuse me, with things that I just said earlier, where if this is a new relationship, there's a transition going from being single, wondering where is my person, to being with somebody in this loving, committed relationship. And then if you had anything that was kind of disrupting the peace a little bit between, or, individually in your lives, and then causing a little bit of discomfort within your relationship, I feel like that is balancing out for you as well. And you'd be transitioning out of that difficult time. See, anything that was going on that wasn't what you wanted, or that was causing some kind of stress or something like that, it's being fixed. Okay, you're transitioning into something much easier, something that's going to flow. The other thing with the Queen of Cups, this is a very intuitive card. So once again, your intuition is going to be very important for you. So don't second guess something. For some of you, that is very, very positive because you haven't seen that yet. Okay, maybe you had a bad relationship in the past, or maybe you've been on 50 dates and they've all been bad. Don't second guess it when you meet this person or as you move forward with this person, because things are going to be getting better regardless of what your situation is. Okay, then we have the Five of Wands. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. So with the Five of Wands, this actually is just a continuation of what I was just saying. Anything that wasn't in flow, anything that may have been a roadblock, anything that wasn't, anything that was causing like problems, that is dissipating. Solutions to problems are coming about. You won't have to go on 50 bad dates again because you've met someone very, very special in July. So that is, part of what this transition is. So with this Five of Wands, this typically, well, there's a couple different meanings that it could have, but how I'm seeing it here is whatever wasn't quite right is changing to the point where it's transitioning, right? So you're going to have this inner peace. So something is shifting for you in July that's making things more in balance and more in flow. Yeah, look. So here you have the Two of Cups. And do you see here how there are flowers kind of in the air here, and this person here almost looks kind of maybe surprised, like, oh, look, this is so cool. And then this person is looking up like, wow, that's really cool. And so, there's beverages here. It looks like wine. There's a celebration. It looks romantic. There's candles. There's water. So like I said, things are coming into balance. There's a great connection here. See, here I'm getting this inner peace that we had here. I'm also feeling like both of these people, and also here with the two fish here, very intuitive. So I feel like you're both on the same page. I also just had a flash where if you're just meeting somebody, both of you will be like, oh, I just know that this is my soulmate. I just know that this is the person I'm going to marry. Okay. So something like that is happening for you in July. And then we have the Death card. Yeah, this makes so much sense, doesn't it? With everything that I've just said. So, right, you have transition here. And then you have the Death card. So things are transitioning, going from being single to being in a relationship. Some of you may be moving in together, because this is making me think of, how when you'll pick someone up and carry them over the threshold of a new home. That's also what this is making me think of. So any period of time before this, when your inner peace wasn't at 100%, that is being fixed, right? So yes, there's absolutely a transition. There's a transition for both of you. This is a very welcome, happy transition going into a period of time where there's a lot of joy and happiness and taking care of each other, nurturing, supporting each other, all of that. And also strength. I feel like you're getting strength from each other. I feel like you lift each other up when you both need it. I feel like there's a lot of feeling safe and comfortable in July. And then we have the Knight of Wands. So there's a lot of passion. There's some of you might be going on a road trip or a vacation with someone. I feel also that there is a sense of leaving problems behind. Okay, because look at this card. You see how there's a horse here and there's two people on the horse. And then down here, there's a person here who seems like they're stuck there. Okay, and so what this particular Knight of Wands is showing me is that there's movement away from something that was taking away your inner peace. So if you're single, this person down here could be representing all those dates that you went on before, all those connections that you tried to make that did not work out. Okay. And that's now becoming a thing of the past, and you're gaining this inner peace and success and transition and strength and all of these things because you're meeting somebody that you actually want to ride off into the sunset with, okay? And then if this is a relationship that's been ongoing for a while, this is also showing, like down here, these would be the issues that I talked about that could have been disrupting your inner peace. Those are those will be a thing of the past. You're rising above any problems and you're sailing away, right? So that those problems will be a thing of the past. And it's so interesting that this came after the Death card, which is that transition, right? Okay. Yeah, and now you have the Chariot card. Some of you are definitely taking a road trip or a vacation in July. Someone might surprise you. And, if someone surprises you with like a road trip or something, I'm hearing that you should say yes, because this is somehow going to strengthen your relationship. And it could even be just, taking like a, 30, 60-minute drive somewhere and, going for a hike or going for a walk or looking at the water or whatever it is. Something about that, it feels like, could really strengthen your relationship. The other thing that I'm getting with the Chariot is that it feels like in the month of July, you're really, really strengthening this connection that you have with this person. Because I feel like you're having deeper conversations about where you want to go, right? What your future looks like. And some of you might be taking steps to actually make that happen, or continue to talk about what that looks like and making future plans. Okay. And then we have the Star card. This is basically what I was just talking about, making plans for the future, talking about things, talking about your hopes and your dreams, and starting to see what that looks like, making those plans. Okay. I got this with the Chariot card, and it flew in and out of my mind so fast that I didn't mention it, but I'm getting it here as well. Some of you are going to be getting engaged in July. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. Very exciting. Okay, then we have the Seven of Wands. There is so much protection in this relationship. You protect each other. You look out for each other. It's very it's very much a team that you will be in with this person. You have each other's back. You support each other. I feel also in July, you could be overcoming something. So definitely, like I was talking about with inner peace. If you're already in a relationship with this person, you're figuring something out, you're overcoming some sort of issue, which definitely seems to be external, especially with this card. So that's good news. And this could also represent you going on those 50 dates and just being so disappointed. But then all of a sudden your perspective has changed and you say, oh, okay, I'm not going to give up just yet because I went on one date with this one person and they just seem amazing. And if you listen to your intuition is going to tell you, yes, they are amazing. Don't shut yourself off just yet from finding that special person because it looks like you just met that person. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. So with the Eight of Pentacles, what I'm feeling here is that, especially because it's under the Two of Cups, look at that in the transition card. So with the Eight of Pentacles, I feel like there's a desire to have something long-term with this person that you're meeting or you're with. And so if you're just meeting someone in July, you're both going to be on the same page, feeling like, wow, there's really something special here. Like, let's continue to see where this relationship goes. And, you know, we both want the same thing. We both want something long term. And I feel like you're both putting in equal amount of effort into the relationship, but it feels, you know, almost effortless most of the time. I'm also feeling like, if anyone out there, if this external thing that I mentioned with inner peace, that something may have caused an issue, and I mentioned it could be financial or work related or something like that. If it is financial or work related, finances are going to balance out slowly but surely. The finances are going to get better for you. Okay. Whatever it is that may have caused an external issue, that may have been putting stress on one or both of you, there's going to be more than one solution or more than one option to fix whatever it was that went wrong, okay? Or whatever difficulty, however you want to put it. Okay, wow. And then you have the Eight of Wands. So let me continue on to start with what I was just talking about, where if you had some kind of external issue, especially with finances, work, something like that, it's going to shift. It's going to be fixed. And I feel like it's going to be fixed very, very quickly. So, you know, this could happen any time in July where you find a solution. If you find the solution at the very end of July, so that it's literally bordering on August, then I feel that within August, it's going to be completely fixed and gone and a thing of the past. And then for others of you, I feel if you find the solution earlier in July, it's going to be fixed by August. Okay. And I say that because you have the Eight of Wands. Okay, so I didn't get all of that information with August with the Eight of Pentacles, but I got it with the Eight of Wands. Okay. Also, for those of you who are just meeting someone new, I feel like your connection is going to grow very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. This is like one of those instant connections where you feel like you've known someone forever. And it's just going to continue to grow. And I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are practically moved in with each other sometime in July or August, where maybe you both have your separate places, but you're staying over, you know, like 4 or 5 times a night or 3 times a week. I mean, you know, 3 times a week, 5 times a week, something like that. So I feel like this connection just kind of happens very, very quickly if it's a new connection. And again, listen to your intuition. If it feels right, well, then so be it. Then it is right. You know, it doesn't matter if someone else says, oh, you're moving too fast. Well, they're not in the relationship, so that doesn't matter. Just do what feels right for you because your intuition is really going to help guide you. Okay, the Knight of Swords. So, okay, again, talking about about things going very, very quickly, and this just confirms it. I I really feel like there's some sort of like great romance happening for you in July. You could be meeting someone unexpectedly. You could be taking a trip with someone. You could be, some of you may literally be moving in with someone in July. This is also finding solutions to those problems that I talked about, and those solutions coming very, very quickly and being resolved very, very quickly, like I talked about with your last two cards here. So yeah, I feel for you, for this group number 2, things are happening quickly. And that's why it's important for you to listen to your intuition. So, if this connection happens very quickly, just listen to your intuition. If it feels right, it's right, And then if a solution comes up to whatever was disrupting your inner peace here, if that solution feels right, even if it comes up out of the blue, just listen to your intuition, because that's going to be the most important thing for you in July. That is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you ever want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is linked below. Thank you so much for watching. Hello, pile number 3. You have the Malachite crystal, and your card is Abundance. I feel July is going to be a very abundant month for you emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. Like, I'm feeling like you're going to have deep conversations with someone. I also feel like you might be surprised by how much abundance flows in your life. So you could be surprised by, let's say if you're single now, you could be surprised by how deep of a connection you develop with someone during July. Okay, so maybe you kind of gave up on finding anybody anytime soon, and then all of a sudden you meet someone and you have this really, really amazing connection. Okay, I feel there's, whether you're just meeting someone or you've been with someone for a while, I feel like there's a deepening of this connection that you have or will have with this person. So it seems like something really special is developing for you in the month of July. Excuse me, in the month of July. So let's look at your other cards. Okay, what else can you tell us for pile number 3, please? Okay, this card wants to come out. So we have release. I feel like you're releasing the past and you're stepping into the future. I really do. I feel like seasons are changing. I feel like your luck is changing. And I feel like things are getting much brighter for you. Okay. What does that mean exactly? Things are getting brighter for you. I'm seeing a lot with the brightness. I'm seeing like the sun. I'm seeing like joy, abundance, happiness, emotional fulfillment. I just heard the stars are aligning. So if you're single, okay, I feel like the stars are aligning for you to meet that special person. Okay, let's see. Oh, and then we have inner peace. This was in pile number 2. That's really interesting. So you can watch pile number 2 if you want, but I also feel like it's important to say something that I said with pile number 2 with this inner peace card. So something that I got with the inner peace card was intuition. So, oh yeah, especially because you have release here. Okay, so I'm glad that I mentioned that. So yeah, go ahead and watch pile number 2 if you want to. If not, then you can just listen to what I'm what I'm about to say here, because it does pertain to your reading as well. So it's very important for you to listen to your intuition. So let's say, for instance, that you've been single and you just met somebody and maybe you're questioning yourself. Maybe you're like, wow, I met someone, they seem really special, they seem really awesome and cool, and all of these things. And then you're like, but you know what, I kind of let my feelings go last time I got into this relationship, and I was vulnerable and I shouldn't have done that because it didn't end up so well, you know, it ended up badly. Okay, well, what Spirit is saying here is that you need to release that and you need to listen to your intuition, because I'm feeling like this time would be different. Okay, and it doesn't have to be that scenario. That's just an example that came to my mind. It could be with anything. Let's say that you're already in a relationship with someone and maybe you had problems in your relationship and this person is saying, no, like, we're really going to fix things this time. And you're like, ugh, I don't know. What Spirit is saying, again, listen to your intuition. When you say, I don't know, is that your ego or is that your intuition? Okay. Because what I'm seeing here is that there's some kind of release from the past that is either going to happen or needs to happen in order to get this abundance. Okay. So releasing anything that does not belong as you go forward with this person, whether this is a new relationship or someone you've been with for a while. Because look at what you have here. You have abundance, you have inner peace with someone, because there's two fish here, but you can't get here unless you release something. Okay, so the release is possibly the most important thing for you to take away. Okay, let's look at your other cards. What else can you tell us for pile number 3, please? Ooh, oh my gosh. Okay, well, that is way too many cards, but the one on top and this one on the bottom are catching my attention, so we're just going to take the middle cards out and grab these two. Ooh, you have agreement. You know, this makes a lot of sense. Sorry, I'm like picking up the energy from this card. So first of all, there's a lot of growth here. You're on the same page. There is, I'm hearing that you can trust this person. Yeah, and I feel like that has something to do with why the intuition came back with the inner peace card. Yeah, there's something about your intuition. Okay, I'll keep that in mind as we go forward. So aside from that, what I'm seeing with the agreement here is that you're both on the same page. Whether you've just met someone or you've been in a relationship for a while, remember you need to release something that could negatively impact this amazing connection that you have here. Because if you don't release that, I feel like it could cause disagreements, okay? It could cause some kind of strife and some kind of negative energy that does not need to be here, okay? So as long as you release anything that's not meant to be there, you're gonna, things are gonna flow and things are gonna grow so much for you in July. Let's see what this card is. Communication. Yeah, that makes sense. So remember I said there was like this abundance of, at least I think I said, I was getting an abundance of energy, like positive energy, communication, intellectual abundance. Okay. And so with communication, I feel like there is going to be a lot of communication, and I feel like you're going to be in agreement when you have this communication with someone. And I feel like that's why it's so important to listen to your intuition, because there's something really important going on for you in July within your romantic life, okay? You have the opportunity for great abundance, for great inner peace, for, I'm hearing loyalty, strength in a relationship, all of these things, but you need to release, okay? So maybe you need to release your fears of being vulnerable and communicating with someone exactly what you want or what you need in a relationship, okay? So releasing any kind of fear of vulnerability or anything like that, that's going to bring you this abundance, okay? And I feel like these two cards are so important, especially how they fell out. And then I took the one on top and the one on bottom. because those are the two that were really drawing my attention. And you have agreement with communication. So there's something very, very significant here. We might get more information as we go along, but don't be afraid to express yourself. Don't be afraid to show someone who you really are, okay? Because someone's really going to love who you really are. And you're going to really love like the real person that you're going to be meeting, right? You're going to see the true self. So don't be afraid to just be who you are. And let yourself, put yourself out there. What else can you tell us for pile number 3, please? Pile number 3. Okay, there we go. Pile number 3. Your cards weren't quite ready yet. So I'm going to take this bottom card first, but then I feel like we need to turn them over and then go from the top. Okay. So here your first card is the 9 of Pentacles, and I feel like this really embodies what I've been saying. So this is great success. This is great abundance, okay? Like you have the abundance card here. And I feel like this represents you. So like, let's say I'm looking at this card as I talk about it, and this is someone else looking at you. So a romantic partner looking at you and seeing this great abundance, seeing someone that they want to be with and do things with and, have goals with you and that type of thing. But I'm also feeling like it's the reverse where you're looking at someone else, seeing this great abundance, seeing the great potential that this person and you would have in a relationship together. You're seeing like possibly pursuing your hopes and dreams together, setting, a strong foundation together and taking, different steps in this relationship together. So I definitely feel like this connection is something that can definitely grow. I feel like it's going to unfold over time. And I feel like this level of abundance just keeps growing and it gets stronger and stronger as you go along. Okay. Especially in the month of July, I feel like you're kind of uncovering things about each other that maybe you didn't know about each other before, like if you've already been in a relationship. And if it's a new relationship, I feel like you're really digging deep and getting to know each other on a very strong spiritual level. And then we have the 8 of Swords. Yeah, I'm telling you, you need to release something, because if you don't release something, it can keep you stuck where you have been. So let's say, I'm going to give you 2 scenarios, one for if you're single and then one if you're already in a relationship. So if you're single, like I said earlier, and you're holding on to negative things that happened in the past, because the swords here, it's something negative is holding you in place, but you're really not stuck. It's like, especially with this 8 of Swords, it's like you're choosing to be stuck here. Because look at this sword, this person could literally just walk right through, and this person is blindfolded, but it's a scarf that's literally about to unravel, right? So it's like you have a choice to stay here or to release something from your past. So if you're single and you meet somebody and you're like, oh, this person seems great, but when is the other shoe going to fall? When am I going to see the true person? When is that person going to come out? I had, in the past, I felt the same way. I felt a deep connection, and then this person ended up being very negative, very toxic, or maybe maybe in the past you lost a romantic partner. Maybe someone passed away and you're feeling very closed off. And, again, here Spirit is saying, go ahead and release that so that you can move on and enjoy this beautiful relationship with this person. And if you're already in a relationship, then it's like, if you had some kind of difficulty or something, but you want to move forward, okay, then what I'm seeing here is that that's obviously your choice, but it's like, in order to move forward, okay, you need to release something that happened in the past and you need to be in agreement about that and communicate about that, and then move on so that you can have this peace together, this inner peace together. Then we have the Four of Pentacles. So for some of you, I feel like it's going to be difficult to move on from this, because to move on from whatever you're holding on to, that can be scary, right? Because then you're going to be vulnerable. You're going to have to just kind of, you know, be exposed, which can be really scary. But I'm seeing that you have protection. And do you see how interesting this is here? Look at this card. So your release card, and you have the leaves that are falling from the tree. You have the same thing here with the Four of Pentacles, where you could be holding on to something too tightly, okay? These leaves are also falling here. There's a change in the air that I'm seeing here. This person or, so the person, whether it's a new person or a relationship that you've been in for a while, this person is different. Okay, so this person is either different from someone that you dated in the past, or a situation is different. Like this person isn't going to just leave like the other person may have done, you know, depending on your situation. And if you're already in a relationship, I feel like this, if the other person was the issue that you had, I feel like they have changed, and it's okay to be vulnerable and to trust and to move forward with that person. And then we have the Crone of Wands, which is the King of Wands. And so what this is telling me is that absolutely remember how I said that a change in season, things are changing. This is transformation. This is moving beyond problems, okay? Moving beyond anything that may have been holding you back before. This is finding the solution, and really there's a lot of passion here. And this is something that I feel what Spirit is showing me, this is something that is worth the vulnerability, especially because your first card was abundance. Okay, so it's like, I feel the only thing holding you back from abundance would be yourself, or maybe this other person. Maybe the Eight of Swords is the other person and it's not you. So this could be showing that, yeah, you have great passion for each other. And in order to have this abundance that we see here, the other person needs to release something. And you need to be in agreement about that. And you really need to have great communication about that. But I absolutely see that whatever is going on here, there's absolutely potential to move past any issues or problems. And then, yeah, see, and then we have the Queen of Pentacles. So there's definitely a sense of strength. And, you know, also with like the Nine of Pentacles here, it's like slowly over time, you're building on this relationship, your abundance continues to grow. So going from the Nine of Pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles, this is great abundance, okay? That it keeps growing. So I feel that your relationship would continue to grow. I feel that there's a lot of trust that is built. So for you, pile number 3, this might be a situation where things kind of move fairly slowly for you because of whatever this is that needs to be released. So maybe it'll take a little bit of time for you or this other person to open up a little bit and to feel comfortable. So Spirit is saying, definitely have patience, okay? And I'm feeling with inner peace here with this card. I feel like as long as there's open communication, as long as both parties know exactly what's going on and no one's like withholding any kind of information or being kind of like closed down, I feel like it could work, okay? I feel like you could have patience with someone else, and I feel like someone else could have patience with you as long as you know what's going on, right? As long as you're both on the same page with everything. Yeah, see? So here you have the Four of Wands, and this is what I was just saying. As long as you have all of that, then you could definitely have this beautiful relationship that, you know, lasts, because you would be building this really strong sense of communication. And, you know, especially with agreement here, you could both know that, you know, we're just going to take our time. We're going to take things slow. We're going to see what happens. There's no rush. Let's just enjoy each other. And that is when this abundance really starts to flow in. And did I mention this with this fish over here? This whole situation could be a little surprising to you. Like, whoa, I didn't expect to meet someone, or I wasn't even looking to meet someone, and then all of a sudden I meet them. If you're already in a relationship, there could be something that happened where you had some sort of issue or something like that, and then you have a breakthrough where that issue seems to be resolved, and it's like, whoa, that was surprising. How did we get through that so easily? Or, you know, something like that. And so I'm feeling like the surprise element that may happen for some of you, I feel like because of that, that could be why it's important to take things a little bit slower, so that you can ease into whatever was so surprising for you within the relationship. And then we have the Hangman. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. Take your time, get perspective, communicate, be in agreement. And if you're not in agreement on something, keep communicating about it. See the other person's perspective. They want to see your perspective. Look at the two butterflies here. Okay, so it's like seeing each other's perspective, and taking your time, not rushing into things. Absolutely taking your time. And also I'm hearing not giving up on each other. See, there's something going on here where it feels like you may be presented with some sort of challenge at some point. So in the beginning of if you're just meeting this person in the beginning of a relationship, the challenge could be an internal struggle that one or both of you has. But that can definitely impact your connection with this person if you don't want to be vulnerable and open, or vice versa if the other person doesn't want to. And so that could be this challenge that I'm seeing here, but it's all about taking things slowly, you know, slowly feeling more comfortable. And as you do that, slowly but surely, you would be going from this period of inner turmoil to inner peace, which then, you know, then you've released this, and it allows both of you to have this inner peace together. Okay, like we see with the Four of Wands here. So yeah, with the Hangman, just take your time. You don't have to rush into anything, okay? Because if you're meant to be together, if let's say you're the one that wants to take things really slow, if you're meant to be together, then it's just going to work out where the other person understands that and is like, yeah, sure, let's just take things slow, and vice versa. Okay. And same thing if you're already in a relationship, where let's say, you know, you say, well, you know what, let's take things slow. I think we've made some progress. And if the other person really wants it to work, they'll say, you know what, I agree with you. Let's just take things slow. Let's rebuild this relationship. And that is how you come into this great abundance over here. The Moon card. Yeah, so I talked about the intuition in the beginning, didn't I? I'm pretty sure with the inner peace card, I told you that this was in pile number 2, and intuition was very, very important in that card. And I feel it's important here too. Listen to your intuition, because I just feel like something's going to be different. Okay. Different with this new connection, or different within an existing connection. So do you see what's happening here? You have inner peace up here. You have the Eight of Swords here where you feel stuck. It's kind of like your ego is keeping you stuck here. But then we have the Moon card here. So the inner peace card really was making me think of intuition. And then you have the Moon card, which is intuition. Okay. So definitely it's very, very important to listen to your intuition and not your ego, okay? So if your intuition is telling you, no, I feel like this is a different connection. I feel like I can trust this person. I feel like I can move forward. I feel like we've moved past problems. And, I feel like maybe I can be vulnerable. Then listen to that. Don't listen to your ego, which is going to tell you, no, don't be vulnerable because you might get hurt again. Okay, so it's very, very important to distinguish between the two, which can be very tricky. But Spirit is saying that that's, pretty important for you in the month of July. So here we have the Fool card, and exactly what I was just talking about. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to have these deep conversations that we have here with communication. And don't be afraid to let go of something with the Release card that's not meant to follow you forward in this with this new relationship or in a new phase of a current relationship. So, with the Fool card, is there danger as you go forward? Well, sure, there's risk with anything that we do, but Spirit is saying, it's okay to throw caution to the wind here and enjoy the abundance that's going to be coming your way. And then we have the High Priestess. So again, you have this great intuition that's coming through here. And there's information with the High Priestess that you won't have in the beginning. So again, that's why your intuition is going to be so critical, because you're going to have to just trust, okay, like the Fool. The Fool trusts in the process. The Fool says, I'm going to go on this journey. I don't know exactly what's going to happen as I go forward, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm listening to my intuition. Same thing with the High Priestess here. You're not going to have all the information. I think that's going to make you feel uncomfortable until you do have all of the information. But the thing is that you are going to get all of the information. It's just going to take some time because with the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, it seems like things are moving and shifting in a gradual state of being where you're getting to know each other. And as you get to know each other slowly but surely, you're starting to see what is inside this egg here. You're getting all of the information. So I feel like there's something about 9 to 12 months, because I felt 12 earlier with the Hangman card here, where within 9 to 12 months, this relationship, this connection could really, really, really evolve into something very, very special. And it would be that way before, but there's something about like 9 to 12 months from this point where your connection is solidified, where maybe you're at that point deciding that you're going to move in together, or you're going to get engaged or married or something like that. Okay. So just take your time. There's no need to rush things here. The Three of Pentacles, exactly. See, this is what I was just talking about. Slowly but surely, you're building trust. You're building a relationship. You're, building a lasting foundation here. And slowly but surely, you're going to start to trust each other. Slowly but surely, you're going to start to trust your intuition. And that's why communication is so important here. So like I said, it's, it's not going to take 9 months to a year before you feel this. If you listen to your intuition, you're going to feel it right away. Okay, but there's something that needs to be released here. So as you go forward, oh, and look, there are leaves in this card too. So interesting. You have, what I feel? Because these are the two cards. Yeah, so I feel like you both might have things that need to be released. And in order to move forward, regardless of what your situation is. But I feel like if you both choose to do that, you're going to be doing it at the same time. I feel like by doing that, you're building so much trust within each other. And I feel like the trust is a huge part of this abundance card here, where you really, really, really form a deep, deep trust with this person. And it's all because at the beginning, there was something that you were scared to release, like you were scared to let that go. But by doing that and slowly but surely taking those baby steps and starting to trust someone, then that trust is just like next level. Okay. Wow. So here you have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. So, oh, this is interesting. Do you see this? So there's a yarn of, spool of yarn thread. Is that what it's called? Like, right. Anyway, it's like a ball of thread here, if I said that wrong. And so the string goes over here, and this person here is about to cut that string. So what that's telling me is that because I'm almost seeing this person here as they're not actually there, that this is like a spirit guide or this is a higher power or something like that. And this here is the two of you, okay? And it's like you're releasing something that could have held you back in this connection here, but you're both choosing to let go of that and be in the moment with each other. So letting go of things that happened in the past, either in your relationship, if this is a current relationship, or individually in like past relationships or something like that, where you feel like, you know, you can't really trust someone or something like that. Okay. And by doing that, that is how you're getting to this great abundance, because with the Wheel of Fortune, what you're going into here is not what you've had in the past. This is different. It's going to be much better, much more abundant on many different levels. Okay, so that is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you ever want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is linked below. Thank you so much for watching.